Hello everybody, my name is Aaron, and today we're going to be going over the rules of Game of Thrones Risk. And you're watching Total Board Game. So I read the rules from front to back, put little video clips to it to help you guys understand what's going on. This video took forever to make. Some of the dice rolls in this video are staged, they're only there for example purposes. I want to make another video about the issues of this game and a different way to approach some of the things that happen in this game. But for right now, enjoy. Introduction. War and chaos have descended upon the realms of men. In Westeros, the death of Robert Baratheon has created a power vacuum with rival houses competing for control of the Iron Throne. Meanwhile, in Essos, Daenerys Targaryen is building an army to contest the rule of Giscar's slaves before returning to reclaim the Iron Throne. There are 3 different ways to play Risk, Game of Thrones. 1. Skirmish, basic version designed as introduction to Risk, Game of Thrones gameplay. Once you are comfortable, move on to Dominion. Number 2, Dominion, advanced version of Risk, including objectives, character, and Maester Cards, offering more in-depth strategic action. Number 3, World at War. Play with both maps, up to 7 players using either the Skirmish or Dominion rules. Overview of components. Contents. 2 game boards, 315 army pieces, 7 seats of power, 7 play boards, 187 cards, 63 special unit tokens, 75 gold dragon coins, 20 player board score trackers, 9 dice, and 1 rulebook. Game boards and army pieces. This Risk game includes 2 board maps and 7 house armies. Westeros, 3 to 5 players. This is the map, Westeros. This map is divided into 48 territories, grouped into 9 regions. Play this map with Stark, Baratheon, Lannister, Tyrell, and Martell. Each player will control the armies of 1 noble house. Each house is represented by 2 different pieces, representing either 1 or 3 armies. Use the 3 army piece to save space by representing 3 of your armies. Essos. This map is divided into 34 territories grouped into 6 regions. Play this map with Giscari and Targaryen armies. Dice are used when attacking and defending territories to resolve battles. 6-sided dice, 3 attack and 2 defense, red and black. 8-sided dice, red and black, 2 attack and 2 defense, Dominion mode only. Cards. There are 5 different decks of cards as indicated by their backs. Decks should be separated by type before playing. Territory cards. 2 decks, Westeros and Essos. Each deck has a card for each territory on the map. Territory cards are used for initial setup in Skirmish and will be collected to gain extra reinforcement armies or special units in Dominion to bolster your forces. Endgame card. Endgame card is randomly placed into the bottom half of the territory card deck to end the game in Skirmish mode. Character cards. These feature 4 prominent members of your house. By paying an associated cost, your character will grant special abilities to your house, Dominion mode. Maester cards. These are purchased and used to grant tactical advantages to your house during deployment and battles, Dominion mode. Objective cards. These create goals and strategies for earning victory points, Dominion mode. Coins. Gold dragon coins can be collected and spent in Dominion mode to activate character powers. Buy and use Maester cards and plot new objectives. There are 2 denominations, 100 and 500 of coins. Any coins not spent during a turn may be saved and used in future turns. Special unit tokens. There are 3 types of special unit pieces for use in Dominion mode, which can be gained by redeeming territory or Maester cards. These pieces will be deployed with your armies to give you tactical advantages in battle, Dominion mode only. Player boards. Each house has a player board to help keep track of your characters and treasury of gold dragons, as well as victory points, territories, castles, and ports you control. Keep track of these with your army pieces and use the 10 plus, 20 plus tokens as needed to track totals, Dominion mode only. Game mode. Skirmish. Play this first. Skirmish mode is designed as an introductory to this version of Risk. It is easy to learn, plays more quickly, and is recommended for getting comfortable with the basic rules and mechanics of Risk. Once you have perfected your strategies, feel free to move on to more advanced gameplay. with Dominion. Object of the game. The player with the most points when a special endgame card is revealed from the territory deck wins the game. Players are awarded points for controlling territories, castles, and ports. You do not have to control all territories to win. Skirmish setup for a 2-player game. Gather the game components, the Essos map, Essos territory deck, army pieces. Set aside all other components because they will not be used in skirmish mode. Roll a die to see who goes first, starting with the high roller for turn order. In turn order, players choose a house and collect their set of army pieces. Shuffle and deal 12 Essos territory cards to each player. The remaining 10 territories will start out controlled by neutral armies. Look at your territory cards and place 2 single army pieces on each of those territories on the map. Place 2 single army pieces for a neutral third faction. Use an unused set of pieces from the Westeros houses on the 10 remaining territories. After initial setup, collect and shuffle the territory cards. Then insert the end game randomly into the bottom half of the deck. Place the deck near the game board. Start with the high roller and play proceeds clockwise. Skirmish setup for 3 to 5 players. Gather the game components, Westeros map, Westeros territory deck, and armies. Set aside all other components because they will not be used in skirmish mode. Roll a die to see who goes first, starting with the high roller for turn order. In turn order, players choose a house and collect their set of army pieces. Shuffle and deal all Westeros territory cards equally. In a 5-player game, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th players get an extra card. Look at your territory cards and place 2 single army pieces on each of those territories on the map. After initial setup, collect and shuffle the territory cards, then insert the end game card randomly into the bottom half of the deck. Place the deck near the game board. Start with high roller and play proceeds clockwise. Gameplay overview. On your turn. On your turn, you will take the following 4 actions. Number 1, reinforce, by deploying additional armies to bolster your house. Number 2, invade, opposing and or neutral territories. Number 3, maneuver, your armies. Number 4, draw a territory card if eligible. Skirmish reinforcement. At the start of your turn, you will deploy additional armies for your reserves. To reinforce your territories, the number of reinforcement armies you can deploy is determined by the following steps. Number 1, count up the territories and castles you control and divide that number by 3, rounding down. For example, the Lannisters control 10 territories and 3 castles. Divide 13 territories plus castles by 3 to get 4 armies to deploy. Note, you will always gain at least 3 armies each turn, so if this number is less than 3, round up to 3 armies. Number 2, determine if you have any region bonuses. If you control every territory in a region, you will earn the region bonus indicated on the map as additional armies. For example, the Lannisters control all 5 territories that comprise the Westerland region, earning 2 bonus armies. Number 3, trade in sets of 3 territory cards for bonus armies. Each territory card has an icon on the bottom. During the game, you will collect territory cards and can turn in a set of 3 for bonus armies. Refer to the chart here and on the board for redemption values. For example, if you trade in 3 cards with a knight icon, you get 4 bonus armies. Additionally, when you turn in a set of cards, if you control any of the territories shown in any of the cards in the set redeemed, you get an extra 2 bonus armies to deploy to those territories only. Note, you can never have more than 5 territory cards in your hand. If you have 5 cards at the start of your turn, you must redeem a set. Territory card redemption. 3 knights equals 4 armies, 3 catapults equals 5 armies, 3 castles equals 6 armies, and 1 of each equals 7. Number 4, deploy armies. After totaling up reinforcement armies to deploy for your turn, you will place all of them into territories you control. You can choose to deploy all armies into one territory or spread them out across multiple territories. Skirmish, invasions, and battles. This is the main part of your turn where you decide who and where to attack in order to gain control of more territories and consolidate power to win the game. You may invade territories controlled by opponents that are adjacent to territories you control. You may declare multiple invasions during your turn, but each invasion can only come from one of your territories at a time. You may invade territories with a port from any other territory with the same port color. Declaring an invasion is always optional, so you can choose if and when to attack each other. How to invade an opposing territory. Number 1, declare an invasion. Choose a territory you control from which to attack an opposing territory you seek to conquer. The two territories involved must be connected to each other by a shared border, sea line connection, or port. The attacking territory must have at least 2 armies in it. You can never leave a territory unoccupied, so 1 army must remain behind in the attacking territory to stand guard, retaining control of it. All other armies may be used in the invasion. Number 2, each invasion consists of a series of battles. Choose how many armies from your attacking territory to commit to the battle. For each battle, 1, 2, or 3 armies may attack, and you will roll a die for each attacking army in the battle. Number 3, a defending player then chooses how many armies to commit. The defender may choose to battle either 1 or 2 armies, even if there is more in the defending territory. Number 4, players roll a die for each army in the battle. This means the attacker rolls 1, 2, or 3 dice, and the defender rolls 1 or 2 dice. Number 5, pair up the attacking and defending dice in order from the highest to lowest, then compare the pairs of attack and defense dice. If the attack die is higher than the defense die, remove 1 defending army from the battle and return it to the reserve. If the defense die is equal or higher than the attack die, remove 1 attacking army from the battle and return it to the reserves. Defender wins ties. Number 6, continue by comparing second highest dice on each side of the battle, again with the loser removing 1 army. If there is no die to pair up with and compare, meaning you rolled more dice than your opponent, simply ignore those extra dice. If the defender still has armies in the territory being invaded, the attacker may continue the current invasion from the same territory by committing more armies to that battle, but can always choose to end the invasion after the first battle and declare another invasion elsewhere. When the last defending army is defeated in an invasion, the territory has been conquered. Move the remaining attacking armies committed to the final battle into the defending territory. You may also move in additional armies from the attacking territory. Even though you can only attack with 3 armies at a time, you may move more than that into the defending territory. Remember that you must always have 1 army behind in a territory that attacked, as no territory may ever be left unoccupied. Remember, you can declare as many invasions as you like on your turn, provided you have the armies available. Also, you can fight as many battles as you like during each invasion, or can stop after just 1 battle. The choice is up to you. Play it safe or risk it all in the name of domination. If you manage to remove all of the other player's armies from the map, that player is eliminated from the game. You collect that player's territory cards, and if that puts you over 5 cards, you may immediately turn in a set and deploy bonus armies, even though it is not your reinforcement phase. When playing on the Essos map, some of the territories are controlled by neutral forces. Your opponent rolls the defense die when you attack neutral armies, always rolling the maximum number of defense dice possible. The neutral forces hold the territories they are placed in and will never attack, but will always defend when attacked by either player. Territories with a port. Ports are important strategic positions on the coastline. Any territory with a port is considered connected to all other territories with a port on the same coastline. They will have the same color port icon. As such, these territories can attack one another as if they had a shared border, and will allow you to attack territories you might otherwise not be able to invade. Skirmish Maneuver. Once you have decided that you are done attacking, you may make 1 maneuver to reinforce a key strategic position. To make a maneuver, take as many armies as you like from 1 territory you control and move them to 1 connected territory. Remember, you must leave at least 1 army in the first territory. Territories are connected if you control all territories between the 2. You cannot maneuver through enemy or neutral territories. Maneuvering is not considered an attack, just a way to reinforce a strategic or vulnerable position. Draw a territory card. If you successfully conquered at least 1 opposing territory, you may draw the top card from the territory card deck. You can only draw 1 card, regardless of how many territories you conquer. Sets of cards can be redeemed for bonus armies, which they've already said. Winning. When the game card is drawn from the territory deck, cease play immediately. Now, players tally up points to see who is victorious. Each player gets 1 point for each territory he controls, plus 1 point for each castle and each port. The player with the most points wins. If a player has conquered all the territories on the map, that player wins immediately. Game mode Dominion. Once you feel comfortable with the skirmish mode, you can move on to more in-depth strategies and options by incorporating the Dominion rules. By including character and Maester cards, as well as special units and objectives, you can create a richer, deeper, and more strategic Risk Game of Thrones experience. You can always choose to include some of the Dominion rules and set others aside. For example, you could add in gold, characters, special units, but not objectives or Maester cards, and play with skirmish victory conditions. Review all the rules presented for Dominion mode, and feel free to customize what to include to your liking. Object of the game. Instead of simply trying to control the most territories, castles, and ports, you are now trying to achieve specific objectives to earn victory points, furthering your efforts to consolidate power and establish dominion over the rival houses. Objectives are worth from 1 to 4 victory points based on difficulty to achieve them. The first player to earn 10 victory points while also controlling his seat of power wins the game. Dominion setup. For a 2-player game. Essos map, Essos territory deck, army pieces. Players roll a die starting with the highest player. Players choose one of the listed houses. Note, houses are listed in turn order. Choice of house also determines turn order, with play proceeding clockwise. Targaryen or Giscari. Armies. Collect the set of armies matching your chosen house. Select the player board matching your chosen house. Character cards. Collect the set of 4 character cards matching your chosen house and place them on your player board face up. Objective cards. Each player is dealt 3 cards and chooses to keep 2. Discard the third and shuffle it back in the deck. Then place the deck near the game board. Territory, Maester cards, gold, and special unit tokens. Place near game board. Collect starting armies. The rest will make up your reserves for reinforcements. For 2-player game, 21. Claim your seat of power. Place a seat of power piece and 3 army pieces in your house's seat of power territory. This is in addition to starting armies. House Targaryen, seat of power, is the Flatlands. House Giscari, seat of power, is Estaper. Deploy armies. Number 1. Draw 10 territory cards and place 2 neutral single army pieces in each of those territory cards. Redraw for seat of power territories. Number 2. Taking turns in turn order, deploy 1 army at a time on unclaimed territories until all territories are claimed. This is instead of dealing out territory cards for initial army placement in skirmish mode. 3. When all territories are claimed, take turns reinforcing claimed territories with remaining starting armies until all starting armies have been placed. Collecting your turn order start bonus. See number 2 for house turn order. Second player Giscari, 300 gold. Start the game. Play proceeds clockwise. Dominion setup, 3 to 5 player game. Westeros map, Westeros territory deck, army pieces. For 3 players it's Stark, Baratheon, Lannister. 4 players is Stark, Baratheon, Lannister, Tyrell. 5 players is Stark, Baratheon, Lannister, Tyrell, Martell. Armies. Collect all set of army pieces matching your chosen house. Set the player board matching your chosen house. Character cards. Collect the set of 4 character cards matching your chosen house and place them on your player board face up. Objective cards. Each player is dealt 3 cards, chooses to keep 2, discards the third, shuffles it back into the deck. Then place deck near game board. Territory, Maester cards, gold, and special unit tokens. Place near game board. Collect starting armies. The rest will make up your reserves for reinforcement. 3 players is 28. 4 players is 24. 5 players is 20. Claim your seat of power. Place a seat of power piece and 3 army pieces in your house's seat of power territory. This is in addition to starting armies. House Stark, seat of power Winterfell. Baratheon, Dragonstone. Lannister, Casterly Rock. Tyrell, Highgarden, Martell, Sunspear. Deploy armies. Number 1. Taking turns in turn order, deploy 1 army at a time on unclaimed territories until all territories are claimed. This is instead of dealing out territory cards for initial army placement in skirmish mode. Number 2. When all territories are claimed, take turns reinforcing claimed territories with remaining starting armies until all starting armies have been placed. Collecting your turn order start bonus. 3rd player Lannister, 300 gold. 4th and 5th player Tyrell Martell, 500 gold and 1 territory card. Start the game. Play proceeds clockwise. Gameplay overview on your turn. On your turn, you will take the following actions in this order. 1. Reinforce, with additional armies, gold, and special units to bolster your house. 2. Purchase, Maester and objective cards. 3. Refresh, character cards. 4. Invade, opposing and or neutral territories. 5. Maneuver your armies. 6. Complete an objective and check for victory. 7. Draw a territory card if eligible. Dominion Reinforce. Reinforcement for Dominion works like it does in Skirmish, with the addition of also collecting gold dragon coins to spend. 1. Count up the number of territories and castles you control and divide that number by 3, rounding down. Collect that many armies and that amount in hundreds of gold. For example, if you control 10 territories and 3 castles, totaling 13, you get 4 armies and 400 gold. Number 2, determine if you have any region bonuses. If you control every territory in a region, you earn the region bonus indicated on the map as additional armies and that number in hundreds of gold. For example, if you control all 5 territories that comprise the Westerlands region, you get 2 bonus armies and 200 gold. Number 3, you also collect gold for the number of ports you control, in hundreds. For example, if you control 3 ports, you get 300 gold. Number 4, trade in sets of 3 territory cards for bonus armies, and collect bonus armies for cards of territories you control. As in skirmish mode, you can turn in a set of 3 cards for bonus armies. Note, you do not get gold for redeeming territory cards. 5, trade in a card for a special unit. You may also turn in a single territory card to collect a special unit piece, matching the icon on the card, knight, siege engine, or fortification, to deploy with armies. You can redeem both a set for armies and a single card for special unit on the same turn, but the single card cannot be part of the set. You do not get bonus armies when you redeem a single card for a special unit. Number 6, deploy armies. After collecting reinforcement armies from reserves and gold for your turn, you will deploy all reinforcement armies into territories you control. You can choose to deploy all armies into one territory or spread them out across multiple territories. If you collected a special unit, you can deploy it into any territory you control, independent of where you deploy armies. Gold is added to your treasury to be spent on cards and abilities. You may save gold in your treasury and do not have to spend all of it each turn. Buying and using cards. After deploying armies and collecting gold, you may buy Maester Cards and objective cards. Maester Cards will give you one-time special abilities and can be purchased for 200 gold each. Simply turn in the coins and draw the top card from the Maester deck, adding it to your hand. You may buy as many as you like each turn. Keep your cards hidden, as they will allow you to surprise your opponents with special abilities granting you tactical advantages. Maester Cards denote when they may be used, as well as how much gold it costs to use them. Cards can be used on the same turn they are purchased, unless otherwise noted. After using a card, discard it to the stack beside the deck. Objective cards give you special missions to achieve, each earning you an indicated number 1 through 4 victory points. The first player to earn 10 victory points wins the game. You start the game with 2 objective cards and will gain more as you achieve objectives. Keep objectives hidden so opponents won't know what you are trying to achieve. At the end of your turn, check to see if you have achieved any objectives. If you have, reveal and discard the card and advance your victory point total. You may only achieve 1 objective per turn. To diversify strategies, you may spend 200 gold and draw 2 cards from the objective deck. If you do, choose one to keep, adding it to your hidden objectives, and discard the other. Character cards. Each house has a set of 4 character cards with unique special abilities. These abilities can be activated once per round by paying the associated cost in gold. Some abilities grant attack or defense bonuses, while others work outside of battle. To activate an ability, turn in the indicated amount of gold, resolve the ability, and flip that character over. This denotes that the ability has been used for the round. After deploying reinforcements and buying cards, flip all face-down characters face up again, ready to be used in the current round. Invasions and battles. Invasions in Dominion work exactly like they do in Skirmish. Some character and Maester cards, as well as special units, allow you to modify die rolls, re-roll battle dice, and even roll 8-sided dice. Pay close attention to these abilities and when they can be used. They can make all the difference between defeat and victory. If a card or ability contradicts the basic rules, follow the rules for the card or ability. Special units. There are 3 types of special units, which can be deployed by redeeming a territory card. Special units grant combat bonuses for armies they accompany when engaged in battle, but do not count as armies on their own. You never lose special units while attacking, but if used in an attack where you conquer a territory, they must move into the conquered territory with the attacking armies. Special units are removed from the board along with defending units when the territory they are in is conquered. Knight. Each knight in a territory allows you to add 1 to your highest die roll when armies in that territory are engaged in battle. This means you can effectively roll higher than the highest value on a dice, 6 or 8. If you have 2 knights in a territory, you add 2 to your highest die roll. Siege engine. Each siege engine in a territory allows you to replace a 6-sided dice with an 8-sided die when the armies in the territory are engaged in battle. If you have 2 siege engines in a territory, you may roll 2 8-sided die, assuming you have 2 armies in the battle. Fortification. A fortification in a territory allows you to replace all 6-sided dice with 8-sided dice, but only when armies in that territory are defending. In addition, a fortification cannot be moved. It must remain in the territory it is placed, and can only be used defensively. Dominion Maneuver. Just as Skirmish, once you are done attacking, you may make 1 maneuver to reinforce a key strategic position. Some abilities may grant you an extra maneuver or the ability to maneuver through an opponent's territory. Objectives. After your maneuver phase, check your objective cards to see if you have completed any. Objectives are worth between 1 and 4 victory points. Based on difficulty, you may only complete 1 objective each turn, regardless of whether you have achieved the requirements for multiple objectives, so choose wisely. To score the points, reveal the objective you have achieved and advance the victory tracker on your player board. After completing an objective and scoring the points, discard the card. Then draw 2 new cards from the objective card deck. Choose one to keep and discard the other to continue your campaign and march to victory. Draw a territory card. If you successfully conquered at least 1 opposing territory, you may draw a card from the territory deck. You can only draw 1 card, regardless of how many territories you conquer. Elimination. If you manage to remove all of another player's armies from the map, that player is eliminated from the game. You collect that player's territory cards, and if that puts you over 5 cards, you must immediately turn in a set and deploy bonus armies, even though it is not your deployment phase. You also collect all gold in the player's treasury. If you manage to eliminate all opposing armies from the map, you immediately win the game, regardless of objectives and victory points. Winning. At the end of your turn, if you have accumulated 10 or more victory points and have control of your seat of power, you win. Keep an eye on opponents' victory point tallies. You may be able to prevent victories by capturing an opponent's seat of power. World at War, 6 or 7 player game. You can use both Westeros and Essos maps together for a massive World at War skirmish or Dominion game, played with 6 or 7 players. Follow the rules and victory conditions previously described for Skirmish or Dominion. Use the following setup and turn order chart for a 6 or 7 player Dominion game. World at War setup. Play on both maps for even more massive World at War campaign. Number 1, Westeros and Essos maps. Westeros on left, Essos on right. Westeros in portrait, Essos in landscape. Number 2, Westeros and Essos territory card decks. Shuffle both territory card decks together to form a single deck to deal out for skirmish play, and draw from when collecting territory cards. Players roll a die. Starting with the high roller, choose to play as one of the listed houses. Note, houses are listed in turn order, with play proceeding clockwise. 6-player setup. Collect your turn order, start bonuses. See number 2 for house turn order. See page 11 for 3rd and 4th player bonuses. 6th player Tyrell, 500 gold and 1 territory bonus. Starting armies, 6 players, 26 armies. Claiming your seat of power. Place seat of power piece and 3 army pieces in your house's seat of power territory. Deploy armies. Number 1, in turn order, deploy 1 army at a time on unclaimed territories until all territories are claimed. Number 2, when all territories are claimed, reinforce claimed territories with your remaining armies 1 at a time until all starting armies have been placed. 7-player setup. Players roll a die. Starting with the high roller, choose to play as one of the listed houses. Note, houses are listed in turn order with play proceeding clockwise. 7-player. Collect your turn order start bonus. 7th player Martell, 500 gold, 1 territory card, 1 Maester card. Starting armies. 7 players is 22 armies. Claim your seat of power. Place seat of power piece and 3 army pieces in your house's seat of power territory. Deploy armies. Number 1, in turn order, deploy 1 army at a time on unclaimed territories until all territories are claimed. 2, when all territories are claimed, reinforce claimed territories with your remaining armies, 1 at a time until all armies have been placed. Evasion across the narrow sea. All ports on the eastern coastline of Westeros may attack all ports on the western coastline of Essos, and vice versa, creating connections between the 2 continents. You may also maneuver using these port connections. Winning. All other rules for either skirmish or dominion play apply. For skirmish victory, count up points for territories, castles, and ports when the end game card is revealed from the territory deck. Insert in the bottom half. For World at War, the first player to earn 10 victory points wins. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped you out understanding the rules a bit better. It's not that hard to grasp, and once you got it, it's going to come second nature. I do have an unboxing video of this guy, and my wife helps out. It's a pretty ridiculous video, so make sure you check it out. If you want to see the issues and fixes for this game, make sure you check that out as well. I'll be going over the rules and highlighting where there's some issues with the game. That's it. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more, hit up the channel. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Ciao.